Hey guys, it's Belle. So today I'm going to go ahead and show you my August candle empties. So I feel like because it was so hot this month, I didn't get through quite as many candles. And honestly, I feel like my candle burning has kind of tapered off a little bit. I know during some months I felt like I was going crazy. I was just home so much and I had time to do that kind of burning, but I just don't feel like I have as much time lately. So yeah, I'm not sure how fall will shape up. I mean, I'll still be burning candles, but maybe not quite as many. So let's go ahead and get started with August. I'm going to go ahead and begin with my Bath & Body Works candles. So I used 2 this month. I'm going to go ahead and start off by telling you the codes on the bottom because I know a lot of you want to know the Bath & Body Works code. So Suntan is an A1 and the Mahogany Coconut is an A3, just in case you were wondering. Both of them had different wicks. They were slightly different wicks. However, I didn't really have any issues burning either of them. I thought the burn quality was quite good on both. There were moments where both of them had maybe a little bit of like wicks that would fizzle out a tiny little bit, but nothing major. I wouldn't consider it problematic. They still pulled out every time, and I wouldn't really call them puny wicks, if you know what I mean. So burn quality was good for both. Suntan I actually preferred a whole lot more. This is somewhere along the lines of like a Yankee Sun and Sand, but I find this to be a tad more musky and fruity, like tropical fruity kind of, but it still has that fresh kind of suntan lotion smell. But I really enjoyed it. It was something I would definitely buy again, definitely seasonal, great for summer. I mean, I don't think I would enjoy this, you know, when it's not summer. It's not one of those everyday kind of fragrances, but I would, you know, consider repurchasing it. Where I wasn't as happy is with the White Barn Mahogany Coconut. I really loved this when I first got it, and I thought I was going to really enjoy it, but it was very, very strong. I would say much stronger than Suntan when throwing, but my body just kind of had a response to this fragrance. It kind of, my sinuses overreact, if you will, to the point where I thought I either had an allergy problem or I was getting a cold. It kind of almost gave me that sensation of like postnasal drip, which was really strange. But every time I burned this candle is when that happened. So it just did not agree with me. As far as the scent goes, it's very cologne-y. A little bit of like a creamy coconut in the background, but it's more of like that mahogany cologne kind of fragrance. Very strong thrower, but I just really had a hard time getting through it because of the reaction it gave me. So I'm not going to purchase that again. But yeah, overall, good month as far as burn quality, but I definitely preferred Suntan as far as fragrance went. So that's it for Bath & Body Works this month. Okay, so I am in the process of finishing up a large Colonial candle, and then I did finish up 2 medium Colonial candle jars, and I hope they're all showing up in this frame. But the large jar is another one of the Paris Raspberry Macaroons. I did finish one a few months ago, so I did have 2 of them, so I'm in the process of finishing this one up. I have to say that I do like this scent. It is kind of like a sugary raspberry, light and fluffy vanilla, you know, raspberry macaroon fragrance. It's a good thrower, but considering I've gone through 2 of these large jars now, it was just a little too much for me. I am ready to say goodbye to this fragrance. It's definitely nice. I would probably repurchase it in a medium if I ever saw it at a TJ Maxx, Marshalls, or Home Goods, which is where I purchased this one at Marshalls for $10. I would pick it up again because it's nice, but these big jars are just such a commitment, and I am ready to say goodbye. So then as far as the medium jars go, I did end up finding another Apricot mint in my candle storage cabinet, so I was happy to stumble upon that because I just found it to be perfect for the hot August weather. The mint portion of this just makes it kind of very refreshing, and the apricot is a little bit fruity, so I loved the combo. I mean, I've burned some of these jars before. You definitely really need to like apricot to enjoy this, but it was extremely refreshing on those hot summer days. So going with the refreshing theme, I went ahead and burned a sparkling snowflake, which is out of character for August, obviously. I did pick up this jar at my Burlington location a while back, and it was clearanced out to $1.99, so it was a great deal. And this was fabulous. I would buy it again. It just had that beautiful clean, slightly like sugary sweet vanilla, very refreshing mint fragrance. So I really enjoyed it. It was almost like a light peppermint patty, but maybe more of like a white chocolate vibe instead of chocolate, you know what I mean? So absolutely refreshing and delicious, so I loved it. Okay, so I also burned a medium Yankee Candle swirl jar in the scent called Island Time, and this is a blend of Pina Colada and Coconut Bay. And then I also finished from DW Home a 3-wick candle in the scent Coconut Lime Verbena, which I did kind of update you guys in July on this particular candle. It had a lot of burning issues, so I guess I'll just start with this particular one. Overall, I'm very disappointed in this candle. I will say that toward the end, it did have better flames. I mean, a lot of the residue, the wax residue that I did have on the jar cleaned up, melted away. It did perform a little bit better toward the end, but overall it had a lot of burning issues, puny wicks. I had to dump wax out, cotton ball. On top of all of that, it just had no throw. I mean, it was extremely disappointing as far as the scent is concerned and the throw is concerned. So I ended up returning a lot of my DW Home candles that I had purchased in the springtime, and I just thought, you know what, this is giving me so many issues. I am not keeping the other ones. They're just not worth the money, and that's absolutely how I feel about this particular jar. So, I'm just going to kind of leave it at that with DW Home. I think every now and then, you know, you might get a really great performer and a great thrower, but like my very first DW that I tried in Wild Honey Nectar, that one was fantastic. I mean, it was an amazing first impression, and I couldn't ask anything more of that candle, but unfortunately, all the other ones I have tried since that one have not lived up to kind of that overall performance, and just, you know, my good feelings about DW Home have dwindled kind of with every candle that I've burned. So I'm not going to be repurchasing DWs for now anyway. Hated this candle, just not a thrower, not a good burner overall, and honestly I kind of feel like it was a waste of money. But as far as the Yankee Candle Island Time is concerned, not super happy with this one as far as the scent throw, which should be nothing new. I mean, Yankees don't throw that great overall, but this one was extremely light. I would say maybe a throw of about a 2 or a 3, pretty light. I was hoping to get some of that really nice, like, coconut pineapple kind of vibe, like tropical vibe, and it was just very, very light. I mean, I could smell it in a limited area, especially if I was really close to the candle. I was able to pick it out, but it just didn't have any substantial throw, so it was pretty disappointing in that way. I will say though, for a swirl jar, which a lot of swirl jars have an issue with the wicks where they kind of unravel and they don't pull out and perform very well, this one did not have those issues, and it was a fabulous burner. I mean, the quality of the burn was great. I had no issues with the burn. So I really can't complain about that. It was just a throw issue for me, but otherwise it was a really good performing candle, just didn't throw. So lastly, I finished up 3 Yankee candles. I have a large jar in Sun and Sand, then in the middle is a large jar of Beach Sun, which is actually Napa Valley Sun. But I got that at Marshall's, so that's why it has a different label. And then I finished, sort of, a large jar of Golden Sand, so I will give you an update on the Golden Sands. Just starting off with Sun and Sand, you know, I really wasn't that impressed with it. It started off great as far as throwing and smelling really well and burn quality, but as it kind of burned down about halfway through, the wicks gave me a little bit of trouble. Then they did recover, so I would say overall it wasn't a bad burner, but the scent just completely dissipated. It didn't really have a throw. So I wasn't really that happy with it, honestly. As far as this scent compared to the Bath & Body Works Suntan, this one is definitely more on the fresh side and has more of like a kind of beach flower smell mixed in with the kind of suntan lotion smell. So a beautiful scent. I mean, I probably would like it in a tart, something like that. But in a large jar, I just wasn't that impressed. Then in the center, I really liked Beach Sun. This one actually threw pretty well. I got it at Marshall's. It was $12.99. And I really liked it. And again, I guess it's Napa Valley Sun is the scent in the regular Yankee line. But I liked it. It actually has a smell kind of, it's fresh, but it's really sweet too. And there's something about it that reminds me of like sugar cookies, which is really strange for like a beachy kind of smell. But I liked it a lot, so I would definitely repurchase it. And as far as throw goes, I would probably put it at around a 6, maybe even 7, but probably a 6. So I was pretty impressed with it. Then moving on to Golden Sands. This thing was so problematic. It just had really bad wicks. It had issues wanting to pull out. I just got so frustrated with it. Ultimately, most of the fragrance oil was kind of saturated toward the bottom, and once it got to the point that it's at now is when I started having crazy soot issues with it. Let me show you inside here. Look at all of these soot pieces. Do you see those tiny little flecks in there? That was like flying all around my kitchen. I had to do major cleanup, major damage control. I could not believe it. And you see that big blob, that is all fragrance oil. And I think that's why it had trouble with the burning process when it got to that point. I am just so disappointed in the quality of this. Just horrible candle. Smells great, but gosh, what a mess. So really bad luck with Golden Sands there. So anyway, you guys, that's it for my candle empties for August. I'm looking forward to September, so thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.